Okay, so let's get the final business and markets week in the month of November started right now. Let's get this underway, everyone. This is Business Morning, Monday, the 25th of November. I am Boasting Namafai, and we thank our viewers here in Nigeria and around the world. Hope you had a very great weekend. Let's get started. A very busy final week in November starts right now with a kickoff of the two-day MPC meeting of the Central Bank of Nigeria, the final one for the year, with hold expectations for the monetary policy rate outweighing either a raise or a cut. The central bank chief told Bloomberg about 2 months ago that rates will be held until 2020. The central bank chief, Godwin Emefiele, is briefing the media later tomorrow of those decisions by the MPC, the considerations and the outlook, all of that from 2 p.m. local time, Tuesday the 26th. We're live here on Channels Television for that briefing, and a panel of analysts in the studio with us to discuss the final MPC in 2019 and what the markets and the monetary policy holds for 2019 or 2020, I beg your pardon. It's going to be a very critical one tomorrow. You don't want to miss that. Meantime, today, the World Bank is hosting a critical meeting in Abuja on how to kickstart private sector investment across Nigeria's subnationals. The meeting, which is starting right now, has the Honorable Minister of Finance, Budget and National Planning, Zainab Ahmed. She's there alongside the top officials of the Presidential Enabling Business Council, otherwise known as PEBEC. This is one major initiative of the World Bank trying to get private investment from within and outside Nigeria, not just into the pockets of the businesses of the federal government, but for the state government. This is one major event everyone is looking up to. Meantime, President Buhari's finance bill is out and is awaiting Mr. President's signature, at least from the Senate. And the Main Street, they're digging their teeth into the document. So tomorrow, the Minister of Finance, Budget and National Planning, Zainab Ahmed, is sitting down with other top dignitaries at PwC executive session to discuss how to unlock values from the finance bill. And tomorrow we'll be busy at Snake Island. That's where Niger Dock PLC is located. The owners, Jagawa PLC, is hosting the Honorable Minister of Petroleum Resources, Timipre Silva, and top oil and gas industry chiefs. They're looking to see what's going on in terms of local content manufacturing within that space. And yesterday night, the Lagos and London-listed E&P, Seplat Petroleum Development Company PLC, stands for honor at the Stock Market Pearl of the Year 2019. The Pearl was also awarded Seplat's pioneering CEO, Osin Avuru, as the Chief Executive Officer of the Year. Avuru is retiring from Seplat in July next year after 10 years in the saddle. So let's talk about the President Buhari's Presidential Order number 7, which has to do with enabling the roads and bridges and rails infrastructure. In particular, the Presidential Order number 7 speaks to engaging the private sector or the federal government, working with private sector companies to build roads and rehabilitate existing ones. And that's what the Apapa gridlock and that rehabilitation by Dangote, or led by the Dangote Group, is all about. So on Saturday, the head of the Dangote Industries, Aliko Dangote, alongside the head of the Central Bank, Godwin Emefiele, took a tour of this road under construction and trying to provide updates on when this road will be ready to ease one of the major problems Nigeria has with foreign trade. Take a listen.
It was launched end of last year, but it's under this Presidential Order number 7, which allows companies to build road, and then after building the road, then they can deduct it from their 3 years taxes. And we thought it is really a very good presidential order, and we call on other companies to also join us. So what we are doing here, we started the road right from the gate of Apapa up to the toll gate. You can see that we are building 10 lanes, 5 lanes on each side, with the drainage, which you will go over and see, what we are doing. Then plus, it's a concrete road. It's the first heavy concrete road that is up to about 35 kilometers, 34.9 kilometers. You can see drainage on both sides, double drainage, street lights, everything. and then we will also maintain it for 5 years. Obviously, there won't be any maintenance. This road will last minimum 100 years. You can see how they are processing the road. So government said that, okay, from the beginning of the project up to the finish, we should, they have given us 36 months. But I can assure you, we'll finish it in 15 months.
When will that 15 months likely elapse?
Well, the 15 months will be maybe starting from about 6 months, because we had to wait and do the entire underground cabling, which took a couple of months. But we should be able to finish before end of next year.
How is Mr. President Buhari being briefed back about the progress this project is taking?
Well, we are actually now going to go, we want to go a little bit further before we start informing the president. We are going to inform the Minister of Finance, Minister of Works and Housing, what is the progress so far. But I mean, they have their own people here which they are inspecting, the quality and also what we are delivering. We have invested heavily. I don't know really how much we have so far invested, but the road, I think the project was given at about 73 billion naira, by its concrete road, and when you look at it, it's even cheaper than a lot of roads that are out of, with bitumen.
In terms of what the Ministry of Works and Housing is considering in terms of the quality of what is being done, have you had feedback from them?
Oh, they are very happy. The engineers are here, and I think it will be good for you to also interview the engineers. But it's a road that I think will be a showcase, not only in Nigeria, in Africa. There won't be any road like this in Africa.
Do you have any intention after this project to move into any other one across the country?
There are a couple. Mr. President really has done quite a lot. Mr. President has approved almost 800 kilometers, roughly 800 kilometers of roads to be done under this order, presidential order number 7. So which I think the government to themselves, they need to advertise what they are doing, because people need to know what they are doing, and they are really doing a great job. I think we must all be very, very grateful to Mr. President and also his government for doing this kind of, job. When you look at it, majority of the roads that we've been building, some of them, they are 15 years old and they haven't finished. But this kind of, project can take up and then finish within a year and a half, 2 years.
Is this an incentive for the Dangote Industries Group to maybe set up a construction company moving forward?
Well, it's not really an incentive. We are looking at it as an intervention, which I believe it is our own duty to make sure that we also intervene. We don't just leave everything to the government. We think other private individuals, they should do that. If they are paying taxes, they should join in building this sort of infrastructure. What we have actually agreed is that under the also contract, we are to maintain the road for 5 years. So government, they have nothing to fear. There is nothing to spend on this road for 5 years. But I can guarantee you this road, I can give even a letter that this road, minimum, we will not even touch this road in 50 years. And when you go around, you see how the preparation is, what kind of iron we're putting, what kind of concrete, the mixture of the concrete. So I think government, they need to really focus on building roads like this. And, for us, really, we cannot do roads under budget. It's not just going to happen. But with this, you can deliver roads, massively. If you look at it in 2018, alone, 2018 and part of 2019, we paid over 30 billion naira as demurrage of our goods that we imported into the country. So you can imagine smaller companies, I don't know how much they are paid, but we have lost a lot of revenue where, people who charge us container detention fees, demurrage and all these things. Because to get out of Apapa is not easy, and when we built the Apapa Wharf Road, it did not really solve the issues. So we still have to, go on to complete this one. But I can assure you this portion of it, which now will start right from the end of the airport, road, up to the toll gate, will be completed by Christmas.
These are the kind of things we travel abroad and we see. Reinforced 12 inches concrete roads. This is a 40-kilometer road, 10-lane road on five lanes on both sides, which is a total of 10-lane roads. You know, and it is a good thing for this country, because when you talk about the ease of doing business, you can imagine a situation where for several years, people have been complaining about the ease of clearing and transporting their goods out of Apapa port. And I'm very delighted that Alhaji Dangote has taken the initiative to say, listen, our port is important. Clearing of goods from our port is very important. And even after clearing your goods from the port, there should be a solid road where these trucks can pass through and make life easy for people. This road certainly will open up Nigeria. This road will open up Lagos. You can imagine a 10-kilometer road with electricity that will flow through it all through the night. In the days, I could see the people around. You can see so many people standing by, and they are very delighted and looking forward to when this road will be ready for them to begin to ply it. That is how you talk about development. Talking about, again, local content. This is 100% local content, 100%. Alhaji Dangote uses his cement factory to do this cement. The reinforced rods, I understand, are coming from Robles, right? African foundries that has smelted waste steel, which is converted into the iron bars that are being used for the roads. This is what we mean about truly Nigerian, and that's what we need to continue to impress. Let me say this. For those who may be interested, the federal government has been discussing issues about building infrastructure, rebuilding the road infrastructure. And I think that, being the position that I am, I need to be able to say, encourage other companies. We are looking at the opportunities of even raising infrastructure bonds to fund some of these roads. But again, government really because of the paucity of funds, we are encouraging private sector people to come in and raise those bonds at very concessionary rates, with which they can build roads to support the efforts of government in developing this country. That is the only way this country can grow. I repeat, you must have observed, I'm talking about roads, jobs, rebuilding industries again. This is what we need for our country, so that Nigeria can now regain its lost ground. So many countries have made progress, but I don't want to say we have receded, but we have stagnated, and it is time for Nigeria to make progress in the development of its infrastructure and the economy. One is not surprised about the contribution of construction and the building sector, cement sector in our GDP. You can imagine the jobs that are being created, right? You have the laborers, you have people who are mixing cement, you buy sand, you buy iron rods, you have people who are working, and this is where you have people working on mass scale, cheap labor, 100% Nigerian jobs. So you cannot miss it. There's a direct relationship between the GDP, the fact that these construction companies are doing well, the fact that people can find jobs, and then they can, you buy sand, you buy rebars, you buy cement. That is the way to grow an economy and create jobs for people, and not about exporting jobs. So I'm very delighted. And when Alhaji invited me here, I said I want to be part of this, because these are the kind of things we need to see, and we need to talk about it. The government is doing its best, and I think each government should be encouraged to do more.